With each in-breath, let the ribs rise away from the pelvis and really focus on letting your inhale pull the ribs up and spread the ribs open. On your exhale, really focus on keeping the ribs lifted, but with this strength that comes from hugging back in to midline. So feel the outer body hug the ribs, but keep them rising. And also on the exhale, of course, the sit bones are plugging into the earth. Ribs rise and expand on inhale. On the exhale, use that interior organization to pull the ribs toward each other and toward the spine without needing to close everything down, right? So we're building this long, strong, and open body. Look at the back as well and see the same thing happening in the back body. So as you lift the front ribs, it doesn't mean we start to shorten the back, right? Lift the back of the rib cage as well on the next in-breath. Spread out your back ribs. On the exhale, knit the back ribs together. But keep them rising. Keep the back of your ribs rising as the sit bones descend. Take one more breath like that. With a strong exhale to hug this new lift, this new openness, right, into its place, right? Organize the body in a different way. Good, and then from there, please roll forward. Come onto your hands and knees. Open your eyes. Do a few cat-cows here, extending the spine on the in-breath, rounding your back on your out-breath. Extend on inhale. And flex on exhale. One more extend. And one more flex. This time extend and stand up onto the pads of your toes and exhale, press back to downward facing dog. Inhale, lift up onto your toes, move into a pike position so that shoulders come forward over the wrists. Exhale, back to down dog. Inhale, up onto the pads of the toes. Exhale, down dog. Inhale, forward, just a bit without sinking into the wrists, elbows, or shoulders. Exhale, back, downward facing dog. Deep breath in here, in down dog. As you exhale, bring your knees down to the mat. Take an inhale to extend the spine. And an exhale to round the back. Inhale, bring your left arm and right leg off the floor now. Pull the fingers forward, pull the toes back, reach in two directions. Again, think about the ribs telescoping away from the pelvis pulling back with the strength of your right leg away from your lower ribs. And right now, focus specifically on the back, making sure that the ribs and the back ribs and the back of the pelvis are also pulling in two directions. Take an inhale here to lift both limbs higher. Exhale your left hand down, stand up onto the left toes, and reach your right leg up for a three-legged down dog. Push down to the palms of your hands. As the right leg reaches up, take one more inhale, and exhale, right foot down to the floor. Deep breath in here and down dog. Strong, long exhale, hollow out the belly. Once you're empty, draw the knees down while holding empty. As the knees touch, take your inhale. Exhale, round, engage your abdominals. Inhale, bring your right arm and left leg off the floor. As the ribs are tractioning forward and the pelvis is pulling back, the crown of your head is also reaching to the front of the room. So your neck is long and your gaze is down. Reaching, not trying to lift the limbs too high. We can, if we are lifting them, that's fine. It's just we want to maintain the length first and then look for how high we can bring the leg and the arm. One final inhale. Exhale, right hand down, stand up onto the pads of your right toes And bring your left leg to the sky for three-legged down dog. Raising the core temperature of the body. Warming up. And using the breath to also raise the core temperature of the body here and warm up from the inside. One more deep inhale with the left leg rising and reaching back strongly. Exhale, bring the left foot down next to the right foot. Huge breath in here. And a strong exhalation. Once you are empty, bring the knees down. Inhale, extend the spine. We're going to add on to our vinyasa now. Exhale, move the hips toward the heels and the forehead to the floor. Taking just a few breaths in child's pose, breathing into the space that this pose affords you. This is a nice, easy forward fold. And you'll feel easily that the ribs and the pelvis are moving in those two, especially the back of the ribs and back of the pelvis, moving away from each other. Each time you exhale, concentrate on moving the sit bones closer to the heels. Even if it feels like it's not that big of a deal, right? Try it and feel how when you do that, when you really point those sit bones down toward the heels, you get a longer stretch in the lower back. And you get to work your core a little more here as well. On your final exhale, go further and reach your arms further forward. And then slither your torso through your arms, moving into a low cobra. Inhale to float up off of the floor. Exhale, roll the ribs back down, forehead comes down. Inhale, float up. And exhale, back down, taking your time. Inhale, reach the ribs off the ground. And exhale, pull the ribs forward as you lower back down. Push up on your inhale to hands and knees, extend the spine here. Stand up onto the pads of your toes and press back to downward facing dog. Take a deep inhale, move into a high push-up. Exhale, back to down dog. Inhale, high push-up. And exhale, down dog. Last time, moving into a high plank, we're just parallel with the floor. Exhale, downward facing dog. Deep breath in and down dog. Exhale to empty out. Once you are empty, bring the knees down. Take your inhale. Exhale, plug into your core strength. This time we'll bring the right arm and left leg off the floor. Reach your fingers forward and pull the toes back. Reach in two directions. Crown of the head draws forward as the toes pull back. Take an inhale and lift both limbs. Exhale, release right hand and left knee down. We're going to go right to the other side, left arm and right leg up. Exhale, pull apart. Inhale, lift both limbs. Exhale, left hand and right knee down. Inhale, extend the spine. Exhale, back to a child's pose. This time, inhale, slither right through into low cobra. Exhale, lower the ribs, but let the legs rise. Inhale, ribs rise, legs lower. Exhale, lower the ribs and let the legs rise. Inhale, one more time, ribs are rising. And exhale, ribs lower as the legs rise. Stay here with your forehead on the ground and your legs still up. And on your next exhalation, lower them down with resistance. Imagine that you're resisting the pull of gravity, or not even imagine, really do that. Resist the pull of gravity all the way down. Push up on inhale to hands and knees. Now hopefully we're warm. We're going to add on now. Exhale, plug into your core strength. On your next in-breath, lift left arm and right leg up. Exhale, bend your right knee, reach around and touch your right toes with your left hand. Reach forward and back again, lift both limbs. Exhale, bend the knee, reach around and touch or even hold onto your right foot. One more time, reach forward and back, lifting and lengthening. Exhale, bend the knee. This time, hold on, if possible, and kick back. Otherwise, just keep pointing your fingers at your toes. Hold this one. Flare those front ribs toward the front of the room. As you exhale, knit the back ribs toward the spine. One more inhale, lift and reach forward and back. Exhale your left hand down. We're going to open to the right now. Right arm comes up, lengthen out the right side. So we're bringing right ribs and right hip away from each other. These left ribs, you can take your right hand to the back of the left rib cage, pull the back toward the front. That may throw you off balance for a sec. Then reach. So you feel much more open. The left side is engaging while the right side lengthens. Lift way up out of your left shoulder. Take another inhale here. Good. As you exhale, bend the top knee, reach around and take a hold of the foot, or just touch the foot, I should say. And then bring it back to arching and reaching. Bend the knee, reach around and touch. Open the chest even more. And arch, reaching. Reach around, touch the two together or hold on and then stay here. We're going to bring the left glutes into this a bit more. Engage those left glutes, bring the left hip under the right. Kick your right foot back into your right hand. If that's too much on your knee or your shoulder, you can always just point your fingers at your toes and kick isometrically. Try to stay unrigid, right? Try to stay really fluid. Let your body kind of move and teeter and totter a bit here. One final breath. Good. Exhale your right hand down. Extend your right leg straight back behind you. Good. Stand up onto the pads of your left toes and shoot the right leg to the sky, as we did a moment ago. Inhaling here. And exhale, right foot down next to left foot. Full breath in and down dog. Strong exhalation. Once you're empty, the knees will come down. Inhale as you extend. Exhale, walk the knees out wide, child's pose. Reach your torso forward, slithering through your arms. Moving into Bhujangasana. Good. This time as you lower, the legs will lift, but we're going to keep the ribs on the floor now. Slide your hands a little further back so they're aligned with the middle of your rib cage. On your next exhale, pull the legs back as you lower them down so that the tops of your toes get closer to the back of the mat. Inhale, keep the legs long. Remember that we're tractioning the pelvis away from the lower ribs. You can even bring your thumbs to the back of the pelvis there to make sure. Exhale, legs come down. Use the strength of your legs to pull the sit bones toward the heels. One more time, inhale, without letting the top of the pelvis move up at all toward the lower ribs. Lift the legs. And exhale, pull the legs back, make them longer as you lower down. Great job. Take your hands alongside mid-ribs, push up on inhale to hands and knees. Exhale, round the back. Inhale to bring your right arm and left leg up, reaching forward and back. Exhale, draw length. Inhale, lift both limbs. Exhale, this time we're going to reach around and touch the toe. Inhale, reach. Exhale, bend, reach back and take a hold of the foot for a moment if possible. Once again, reach forward and back, lift maybe, but keep that length. Keep the space between hips and ribs. Exhale, bend the knee. Take a hold of the foot, hold it this time. Keep breathing. And allow your body to keep moving. One final inhale. Strong exhale, hug your spine. Release your limbs at the end of that exhalation And roll to the opposite side. So we're going to bring the right hand down, keep the left leg up. Reach your left arm over your left ear. As we did on the other side, we want to feel like we're creating space there. And by the way, if your left leg is tired, you can just put your foot on the floor. You can still find that length. Either way works. Holding here, strong exhales from the right side. Try to fire up the right side of your lower waistline. Good, now bend your left knee, reach around and just touch the toes. And lengthen back out. Bend the knee, reach around, take a hold of the top of the foot if possible. And lengthen again. Last time, reach back and take a hold of the foot. Hold on. Engage right glutes, move right hip bone forward so the right hip bone stacks under your left. Keep your right elbow bent. Breathe to move your ribs. Mobilize the rib cage. As you kick back, feel your left hamstrings also working. Make sure the left elbow is also unlocked. So we're not hyperextending either elbow. One final in-breath here. Exhale, release your left hand down, extend left leg straight. Stand up onto the pads of your right toes and shoot your left leg up to the sky. Deep inhale. Strong exhalation to bring your left foot down next to your right foot. Inhaling here. Exhale. Once you are empty, knees and shins come down. When you touch down, inhale, extend. Exhale, child's pose. Walk the knees out wide. Good. Take a deep inhale. Exhale, engage even more dynamically through the lower core. Draw the sit bones closer to the heels. Inhale, slither through your arms. Moving into low cobra. This time, keep your ribs up and lift the legs up for Salabhasana, reaching your arms behind or toward the wall behind you. Take an inhale. You guys stay there. It's hard for me to talk in that pose, so I'm going to come up. You're going to lift the ribs off the floor, but move them forward. As you exhale, the legs are already off the floor. They don't need to come any higher. Pull the pelvis back with the strength of your legs. Inhale, your lower ribs are moving away from the pelvis, but your mid ribs are moving away from the lower ribs. Your upper ribs are moving away from the mid ribs. Exhale, pull the top of the pelvis away from your back ribs. So the length of your spine does not decrease. One more inhale to lift everything, ribs and legs just a bit higher. Exhale, release your hands down alongside your chest. Push up on the in-breath to hands and knees. Exhale, round the back and plug in. Inhale, bring your left arm and right leg up. This time we're going to exhale into our zigzag pose. This is both my favorite pose and my least favorite pose. I love the effects of this pose, but I don't like it when we're in it, right? Left arm reaching to the left, right leg to the right, without sitting in that hip and without sinking into the shoulder. So right inner arm and left inner thigh hug to midline. Let's move with it a little bit. Let's reach the arm forward and leg back on the inhale. Exhale, out to zigzag. Inhale, reach forward and back. Exhale, zigzag, left and right. One more time, lift. And one more time, out to the side. Now place the sole of your right foot to the floor. Inhale, open to the left. Exhale, reach your left arm underneath you to the right. Two more like that. Open up. You might want to stand up onto the pads of your right fingers. Exhale, reach. Even further. Good. Open one last time. And exhale, reach. You can reach and just turn the palm of your left hand up. You could hold on to the right shin. You could decide that you're going to lift that right leg. Your right hand can stay on the floor, or you can decide to reach back and grab the inner thigh or press the back of your hand into lower back left side. You could also reach your right arm over your right ear toward the front of the room, above your head. I highly, highly recommend standing up onto the pads of your left toes, no matter what position you're in. Good. 2 more breaths here. And one final strong exhale to see if you can go ahead and mobilize your spine enough to open your chest toward the sky. And then release your right leg down and back in. Unravel your arms, take your in-breath. Good, exhale, stand up onto the pads of your toes, press back, downward facing dog. Take an inhale now. We're going to add on just a little bit more. Reach your right leg up. Exhale, right knee comes in to touch left elbow. Inhale, lift the right leg. Exhale, right knee in to touch left elbow. One more time. And bring it in. Slide your right leg underneath you. Root down with your left hand and arch away from the floor here. And then reaching left arm underneath to the right, squeeze inner thighs. Just 2 more of these. Opening. You can just even keep that left elbow bent. Exhale, reach. Last time, elbow stays bent and open your left armpit toward the sky. Exhale, reach. Place your left hand to the floor. Sit down onto your hips. Sweep the arms overhead so you're looking back at the back of your mat now. And with your legs spread open, exhale, dive forward through your legs. You're gazing at the back of the mat to the left side, I think. I think. Right, diving through those legs, take an exhale. Lift halfway up so that your chest can open and your spine can extend. Exhale, keep the spine extended and move as far forward as you can without your back really, truly rounding. And then come back up, almost like you're doing a little push-up on the pads of your fingers here. Exhale down, slowly, right? Not ballistic stretching, but just slow movement. And last time, down. And back up. And then please allow yourself, before we move on, to hold this stretch. So go as far forward as you can, reach your arms forward, walk those fingertips even further forward, and then with your quads really strongly anchoring your thighs down into the earth, see how far you can go in the stretch. It's probably going to be further than you think you can go, and it might be further than you want to go, right? Because there's sensation there. But just see, just be curious, right? Can you go a little bit further? 2 more breaths. Really strong exhales. The exhale, as it engages, it's sending this deep, deep message of support, which is going to allow your back to relax a little bit more here. Now come back up onto the palms, walk your hands back in. So we were here, right? You're going to turn to your left, bring your hands to the ground. Shoulder distance apart at the front of your mat, right? Stand up onto the pads of your left toes. And slide that right leg out from underneath you, sweeping it up to the sky. Inhaling. And exhale, right foot down next to left foot. 1 full breath here and down dog. Strong exhale. Once you're empty, knees and shins come down slowly. Inhale when you land. Exhale, round. Inhale, right arm and left leg up. Exhale, pull apart. Inhale, open out to zigzag, right arm reaching to the right, left leg to the left. As you exhale, you're feeling that feeling of using the exhale to hug everything back in while keeping everything open, right? So that we're not shutting down on the exhalation, on the exhale. Right arm reaching right, but really think about your entire right side body reaching to the right. Left leg reaching left, as though you're rooting the sole of your left foot into that left wall. Hug in with left inner arm and right inner thigh. Now let's move with it a little bit. Forward on the inhale, forward and back. Exhale, right arm right, left leg left. Inhale, forward and back. Exhale, right arm to the right, left leg to the left. Inhale, lift and lengthen, reach in 2 directions. Exhale, right arm to the right and left leg to the left. Place the sole of your left foot down. Stand up onto the pads of your left hand, left fingers, I should say, and open up. Exhale, reach right arm to the left, touching the head down for just a moment. Again, opening, going a little further each time, right? Exhale, reach. Really nice stretch happening in the left inner thigh that most of us will feel as well. Open one more time. Exhale, reach underneath and through. Lots of variations on how far you're going to move into this pose. The first point is to make sure the pelvis isn't sinking down, right? We're not feeling that compression. We're not shortening here in the mid-body. Pull pelvis back. Plug those sit bones into the top of the wall behind you. Reach your left arm up if you'd like. Reach around and take a hold of the inner thigh if you'd like. But stand up onto the pads of your right toes and let that remind you to push the pelvis back as well. Then if you want to, you can let go of your left shin and bring the left leg up. Now, if you bring the left leg up and you feel like your body weight then moves into your neck, keep your left foot on the floor. It's not worth it. If you've ever had neck issues, and I have, you know that you don't ever want to feel that herniation. It's just not worth it. So please check in with your neck. Make sure the weight of your body pulls up and back. If you do feel like you can mobilize the spine here, the cervical spine, please feel free. You may want to, see, I just went into my side somersault. You may want to bring your left hand back down to the floor to stabilize there, but then just work on getting your gaze to turn up so that your chin points toward the left shoulder. When you're ready, we're going to unravel out of that posture. Come back up onto the hands and the knees as you inhale, and then stand up onto the pads of your toes. Exhale, press back down dog. Strong exhale. Inhale the left leg up. Exhale, left knee to right elbow. Inhale, left leg up. Taking your time, exhale, knee to elbow. Like you're moving your leg through something even thicker than water, right? Slow it down. One more time, knee to elbow. Then slide the left leg underneath you and open up to the right. Arch away from the floor here. You can always come to your left knee if you need to. Another deep inhale to lift those hips a bit higher. Stand up onto your right toes. Reach your right arm underneath you. Engage in squeezing the inner thighs together. Open up again on inhale. Exhale, reach. Square off the hip bones. Just one more. Really, truly reaching. Bring the arm back up. Bend this left elbow to sit the hips down. And slide the legs open. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, dive as far as you can into this stretch. Don't think about it, just dive as far as you can into it. Notice where you're at. Good, and then come up onto the pads of your fingers. Come up into extended spine. If that's way up here, that's fine. Make sure the quads are strong. Pull the toes back, shins are engaged. Deep inhale. Exhale, bend the elbows and slowly let your exhale, let your abs pull the torso down. Inhale, rise up. Now again, we're not shortening to come down. Length, openness, only move down as far as you can without caving in and back up like little fingertip push-ups, right? Good. Last time, we're going to come up one more time. This time, exhale. Let your abs engage. It's a different kind of engagement when we're used to engaging our abs when we're doing sit-ups, right, or other things that shorten the muscle group. But we're trying to keep the muscles long while we exhale. So it's harder you've got to learn, we've got to talk to those muscles, tell them to work, and then be present while they're working so we feel it. Then walk your arms forward and see how far you can go in this pose at this point. We do this without trying to injure ourselves. We do this without hurting ourselves. There's sensation there, but it should feel like your sensation should feel like you're letting go or bringing tension up to the surface to be released. That's how I like to put it, right? Not adding more tension, and certainly not pushing past our own integrity. In other words, we're using our inner strength to decompress and to increase not only our range of motion, but the stretch itself. But come back up onto the palms, walk your hands back toward the groin here. And then again, just as we did before, we're going to turn now to the right, bring both hands down to the front of your mat. Stand up onto the pads of your right toes. Good, and then just slide that left leg out from underneath you, extend it toward the ceiling on your next in-breath. Exhale, left foot down next to right foot. Full breath in here. Strong, long exhale. Once you are empty, the knees will come down. Inhale, extend. Exhale to child's pose, hips to your heels. Walk your knees out. Full breath here in child's pose. Walk your hands even further forward. Exhale, push back through the sit bones. Use your abs to do that. So your abs concave out the front of the pelvis. The back of the pelvis tractions back and down. Inhale, slither through. Low cobra. Exhale, Salavasana. Inhale, let the sternum rise. Exhale, bend the knees. I'm going to have you today, just without trying to use take your hands to your shins, I'm going to actually have you bring your hands down right alongside the midribs again. Push the thigh bones down to lift your ribs up. So push thigh bones down. Turn your heels in toward each other and toes out. And then just move side to side for a minute slowly. And release. We're going to move with that now. So inhale, ribs rise. Exhale, legs bend. Bring the heels together. Draw the elbows back. And release. And last time, inhale, ribs rise. Exhale, bend the knees, heels come together. Side to side, I forgot that on the last one. And lower. Good. Push up on your next in-breath to hands and knees. And one more time, we're going to exhale our way into downward facing dog. Huge breath in down dog. A strong, long exhale. Once you are empty, walk your hands now toward your toes, moving into the first standing forward fold of the day, or of my day anyway. I don't know about you guys. Soften your head, neck, and shoulders. You should feel really strong and supported here. So this should feel good. It should feel easier than when we start off with a forward fold, right? And after all of the work that we've been doing, because you're so warm and hopefully so connected to the muscles that support your exhale, you can easily find a way to go further. Take 2 more breaths here. You can do any variation with the hands that you'd like to take. Make sure that your neck, head, shoulders, facial muscles, your teeth, your jaw, everything is relaxed. Final exhale here. Good, and then bend the knees. Put your weight into your heels and rise up for Utkatasana. Exhale, dive forward into an Uttanasana. Inhale to extend the spine. Plant your palms, we'll jump back to a high plank. High push-up position, take an inhale. Exhale to Chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Just one more breath in down dog. And the strong exhale, empty out completely. Once you are empty, bring your knees to the floor as we've been doing. Inhale. Exhale, child's pose. Inhale, slither through your arms into low cobra. Good, and this time lower all the way down and reach your arms forward. Inhale, bring your left arm and right leg off the ground. So very, very similar to what we did at the beginning, right? Exhale, pull apart, reach in two directions. Inhale, lift both limbs. Exhale, keep reaching forward and back as you lower. Right arm and left leg come up, inhale. Exhale, if we're feeling like the top of the pelvis is moving toward the back ribs, bring your thumbs back and pull the back of the rib cage away as the leg lifts. And notice how different muscle groups engage when you don't allow the pelvis to move in that way. Release that down. Inhale, bring your left arm and right leg up again. This time, reach back and touch the toe. Reach forward and back. Exhale, reach back, take a hold of the foot if possible. Reach forward and back, keeping the right leg rising, left arm rising. Exhale this time, just like we did on our knee. Take a hold of your foot, slide your right elbow in, and bring your forearm parallel with the front of your mat. Just like we did earlier, we're going to bring the thigh bone down to the ground. We're not lifting the thigh bone off the floor. There's nothing wrong with that per se, but we're still trying to teach our body how to keep your back open, right? And a back bend and a spinal extension. So right thigh bone down, right sit bone toward right knee. Take one final inhale. Please telescope those ribs away from the pelvis as well so it feels like your abs are getting a nice stretch. Release your right toes down to the ground and reach both arms forward. Please stay here without doing anything else for one breath. Taking advantage of this position to breathe your belly into the earth. And as a side note, this breathing, if you're ever really stressed out or like anxious, this belly breathing into the earth is one of the things I use for yoga therapy all the time. Really calms us down. It gives us a very strong sense of connection to the ground, but also to our own center. So let's go ahead and take another inhale. This time we're going to bring the right arm and left leg up. Reaching in two directions as you exhale. Inhale, lift both limbs. Exhale, bend left knee, reach around, just touch. Fingers and toes together. Forward and back again, inhale. Exhale, reach around, take a hold of the foot if possible. Holding on for a moment and releasing. This time, lift both limbs. Exhale, bend the knee, reach around. Fold the left elbow in, or bring the left elbow in. Fold the left forearm parallel with the front of the mat. Left thigh bone down. Okay, so if the thigh is coming up, there's nothing wrong with that, except that that's not what we're trying to find today. Okay? When your leg is up, you'll notice that the ribs are down. I want the ribs up and the thigh bone down. Flex your foot. Then draw the ribs forward. Work on really telescoping those ribs this time. Your lower ribs are moving away from the hips. The mid ribs are moving away from the lower ribs. Your upper ribs are tractioning away from your mid ribs. Strong exhalation from the back of the body. One final inhale here. Exhale, push down with both hamstrings so the thigh bones move into the ground. And release. Both arms reach forward, forehead on the earth. Again, that calming, soothing, relax. This is stimulating the relaxation response. So deep, deep inhale, truly letting your belly expand into the ground. So not trying to hold the abs taut here. On your exhale, the navel will naturally come up away from the ground. Do that one more time. Think about pushing your internal organs into the earth. And a strong exhale. Great job. Take your hands alongside mid-ribs. Push up on the inhale to hands and knees. Cross your shins now and sit back behind your heels, coming into a seated position. Take an inhale and open up the chest here. Taking the hands or back behind your thighs. Keep the chest open, start to lean back. We're not overarching the back here either. Remember, we're finding, because that'll shorten the back, right? So find that space, that evenness. Pick up your right leg and take an inhale, flexing your right foot. Exhale, bring right leg in closer to your torso. Take a deep in-breath, lift out of lower back. Let go of your right leg, let it hold itself up, and lower down until your right leg is basically parallel with the floor. Deep inhale here. Exhale, plug into your core first. So make sure your abs are engaged first. Bring the right leg up and bend your right knee. Place your right foot to the floor. Good. Lift the left leg up. Take your inhale, flex the foot. Exhale, use your left arm to help you bring the left leg in. Those of you that are more flexible, you can also take a hold of your calf here. Deep inhale. Exhale, bring it in closer. Release the grip of the hand, but let the leg hold itself up. Good, and slowly, without rounding, right, without shortening the front of the body, bring the leg down parallel with the floor. Deep inhale. Exhale, lift the left leg back up, left knee in line with right knee, and place the sole of your left foot down to the ground. Inhale, open here. Exhale, lean back, elbows stay soft, but arms are basically straight. Bring both legs up at the same time. Inhale. Exhale, again, if you're more flexible, hold on to your calves, bring the legs in closer. Inhale. Strong exhale, plug in. Stay out of your lower back. Both sides of the body are long and open. Let the legs hold themselves up. Deep in breath. Exhale, bring the legs down, parallel with the floor or close. Hold here, take your inhale. Exhale, bring the legs up. Balance on those hip bones. And extend both legs straight out in front of you. Reach the arms up. Wonderful work. Exhale, dive over your legs. Reaching past the toes, rising up. Take your arms back behind you, lean back, and slowly bring your legs up again. Inhale the legs down, arms up, spine extending, neutral. Exhale, dive. Inhale, rise. Circle the arms around, exhale, lean back, lift the legs up. You can always keep your legs on the floor here too. Last time, heels down, arms up. Exhale, over the legs. Inhale, rise. Exhale, circle around and lift the legs up. Notice how you're not sinking, shortening one side and putting your weight into the other side, right? It's a lot more challenging. Release the legs down, and this time you're going to just continue to roll all the way down to the floor. Using your core to slow that roll down. When you finally do touch your head to the ground, take your inhale. And imagine that you still have that solid floor. You're going to breathe into that solid floor that we found when we were on our bellies. Let your belly truly expand. Exhale. Engage the muscles that support a strong exhalation. All right, from here, let's bend the knees, place the soles of the feet to the floor. We're going to work just a little bit more with this mobilization between pelvis and ribs. So what is housed between the pelvis and the ribs, of course, is your lumbar spine and the, your lower thoracic. I want you to feel like we can take three parts of the body and really allow them to move in three different ways. So today, focus on pelvis as one part, ribs on the other, and that space between is the third part. Take an inhale and move the sacrum down to the ground, but keep the ribs on the floor while you do that. The back of your ribs on the floor. Now, this doesn't mean that we're pushing the lumbar spine down. The lumbar spine, the natural curve of your back, will naturally curve away from the floor. Exhale, scoop the sit bones toward the knees. So now we're pulling the top of the pelvis. You can even take your thumbs to the top of the pelvis again. Pull the top of the pelvis away from your back ribs. But while you're doing that, don't let your lumbar spine come off the floor, and don't over-engage your glutes here, okay? Find your inner strength. Your glutes are firing, but they're not taking over. So top of pelvis moves away. Your sit bones are tracking toward the backs of the knees. Let's try that again. Inhale, sacrum down. The small of the back comes up, but the backs of your shoulders, the shoulder blades, and your back ribs are on the ground. Exhale, press the small of your back down, scoop the pelvis, the sacrum off the floor. We are not lifting the rest of the spine, only the pelvis is off the ground. Last time, pelvis down, the small of the back arches away. Exhale, press the small of your back down. Of course, the rest of your thoracic spine is already on the floor, and the sacrum and tailbone rise up. Now we're going to move through bridge. Taking an inhale, begin to peel your spine one vertebra at a time off the floor. Your chin is up so that you're not lengthening or flattening out your cervical spine. Have a natural curve there as well. Once you get to the highest point of your bridge pose, take an exhale. Feel the back of your core supporting you. So exhale all the way to your spine. Inhale, reach fingers in one direction, knees in the opposite direction. Exhale, your arms are going to come down to lower and slow down, how quickly you're lowering that spine as well. So your arms kind of help you slow it down. Now, as you begin to move into the place where the pelvis will touch down, we're going to keep, you may want to bring your thumbs there, keep the back of the pelvis moving away from the lower ribs. Press down through that space between ribs and pelvis. Then let the pelvis descend as the lumbar spine rises. That's your inhale. Let's do that again. Exhale, scoop the pelvis up. Inhale into moving bridge. Peel your spine one vertebra at a time off the floor. Arms are rising as well. At the top of your inhale, get all the way onto the backs of the shoulders. So if your shoulder blades are still on the ground, use your legs more, right? We can kind of be halfway there, or we can push down with the legs and pull the pelvis in the direction that the knees are moving in. So we have to get out of the habit of thinking that the hips are just going straight up, because when the hips go straight up, they also jam in. See if you can feel that. Instead, I know we're supposed to be moving with this, but instead hold here and pull the sit bones toward the knees. Feel the tractioning there. Feel how your hamstrings have to work a lot harder. Exhale to slowly roll down. Good. Rolling down so that the small of your back will touch the ground before the back of the pelvis. This requires that you pay attention to your inner strength and utilize your inner strength. Once the lumbar spine touches down, inhale your sacrum down and allow the small of the back to arch naturally away from the floor. One more, and we really will move with this one. Exhale, scoop pelvis up. Pull pelvis forward as you rise. The arms are rising slowly as well. Sit bones continue to pull toward the knees. Push down through the soles of your feet. Come all the way up onto the backs of the shoulders without compressing your lumbar spine or your thoracic spine. Deep inhale, reach fingers in one direction, knees in the other. Pull the top of the back of the pelvis away from your ribs. Exhale, roll down through the upper thoracic spine slowly. Start to feel that engagement of your core. Now roll through the mid-thoracic spine. Come to those last ribs. Touch the last ribs down. Now start to roll through lower thoracic spine. Roll through the lumbar spine. Then allow your inhale to move the sacrum to the floor and the hands to the ground. Great, great job. Exhale into neutral spine position. So before we jump into the next thing, just check in with how your spine feels right now. Check in with how the side body, hopefully left and right side, feel evenly and equally lengthened. Hopefully the front and the back of your body feel evenly and equally open. Good. From here, take your inhale, pick up your right foot and then your left foot so that your knees are stacked over your hips. Reach your arms out to either side of the room. Exhaling, we're going to bring the right toes forward and to the floor without letting your back overarch, okay? And then bring the knees up, the right foot up, I should say. Exhale, left toes forward and down without your back arching. And back up. Right knee down, right toes down and forward. And back up. You're hopefully not, so in this one, you don't want to feel like your abs are ever letting go of the contraction. Down. Really strong right here, right? And back up, also very strong. One more time. Right toes down and forward. If your back is arching, just don't bring your toes as far down. And right leg back up. Left toes touch down. And left knee back up. Awesome job. Take one more inhale here. Please make sure it's super easy to let your back arch here. Please make sure of that internal contraction. Now go ahead and exhale, the knees come in. Take your hands around your shins and rock side to side. Massage the muscles that have been working really hard for us today. And after rocking side to side here to massage the back muscles, bring your knees in a bit closer to your chest. Good, or to your armpits, really. Continue to rock side to side. Eventually, we're going to rock all the way over to the left. You're going to roll onto the left side body and point your left hip bone toward the floor. Reach your left arm underneath your left ear. Deep inhale into this right side. And one more time, we're just going to reach around and take a hold of that right foot. Give your quads one more stretch. Strong exhale to engage in hugging your spine with your spinal muscles. Now stack your right knee over the left knee, reach your right arm to the right, and turn so that you're lying back onto your shoulders, the shoulder blades, open back up to the sky slowly, really slowly. You're gonna feel some resistance there. Take a strong inhale, open the body back up. Exhale, wring out the openness. Don't try to wring out while you're shut down. 2 more breaths, knee over knee. Stronger, longer exhale, turn your head to the right. Take one final breath here on this side. And one more strong exhale. Good. Inhale, bring your knees back up over your hips. Exhale, both knees in and rock side to side. Roll all the way over onto your left side body, or whichever side we haven't done yet. I feel like we just rolled over to the left. So if we did the left, yes. Yeah, now roll over to the right. I'm so sorry. Roll over to the right, stack those knees. You're on the right side of your rib cage and your right hip bone is pointing toward the floor. Bring your right arm underneath your right ear so you have a little pillow there. Reach around with your left hand, take a hold of the top of your left foot and stretch out your left quads here. Notice that you can overdo the knee, right? The knee can take too much of this. If that's the case, put your knee where you're not doing too much. If holding on to the foot is making the knee feel too much, right? Then let go. And we've done this many times, just isometrically bend and engage. The knee bends, the front of the thigh is stretching, the back of the thigh is engaging. Good. So please, again, I know I sound like a broken record, but again, we don't want to have anything happen to our knees either, especially as a result of yoga. Good. Now stack that, to release your left foot, stack the left knee on top of the right. Reach your left arm to the left. Unravel slowly. We don't want a Charlie horse. the back muscles or spasm the back, right? So moving slowly, bringing the left shoulder blade as close to the ground as possible. Keep the left knee truly stacked on top of the right. You may need to slide the knees in a bit closer. You may need to slide the knees further away. But notice where it feels really good, right? Where we're bringing the knees to the chest might feel better. Go toward the feeling of actually being able to stretch more. Turn your head to the left. Maybe you feel like you're giving yourself a little spinal adjustment here. That's great. Remember, we're exhaling and twisting once we've opened the body up. Open on inhale. Stay open. Ring out in your openness. Take a final exhale. Roll onto the back again. Bring the knees up over your belly. Without using your arms this time, rock side to side with the knees in close. Finally, extend both legs up to the sky and take your inhale. And exhale either one leg at a time or both legs together without your back arching off the floor. So even here, even now, maintaining that integrity, bring the heels all the way down to the ground. Once your heels touch, belly breath. Strong exhale. Bring your hands to your belly and take 3 more of these deep belly breaths. And you can even resist a bit with the hands. Push up into that resistance. I know for a lot of us, this feels really wrong, right? To let the belly expand. First of all, we don't want to know that our belly can expand that much. But actually, when you get used to it, it actually feels really good. I don't know if it's just because I'm a grandmother now, but I kind of like feeling that feeling of just like a nice big belly, right? And then a strong exhale, because we want to be able to use this breath to massage our internal organs. It's super, super important. I cannot stress this enough, that we let our abdominal muscles relax like we let any other muscle group relax. This will have a tremendous effect on not only your internal organs and your digestion and elimination, but maybe even your mood. Once you have taken those last 3 inhales and exhales, go ahead and just don't even effort your breath anymore. Just relax and let your whole body sink into the earth. Feel the support of the earth. And feel entirely rested and entirely supported by the earth beneath you. Please stay here for a few more minutes, maybe 3 or 4 minutes, longer if you have the opportunity. Thank you so much for joining me here, and have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your day. Namaste.